Hey guys, how's it going? So welcome back once again to Code Engage. In this video, I'll teach you about the architecture, the basic architecture of web development. So by architecture, I mean that how the entire life cycle and process of website development works. So you may be a beginner or maybe an expert. So like this video will actually like explain to you what are the different components that are there in web development and how you should know each of one of them, so that whenever you start a development process you do not get confused as to where each of these components play a major role, right? So as you know, I don't prepare slides, so I'll explain to you, like I'll go to my whiteboard and explain to you everything. So typically these things should be by heart. All right, so whenever you sit for an interview, it may be a front end interview or a full stack like developer interview or so these basic concepts, if you are not clear with, so yeah, that's very much setback for you to actually you won't be like selected for the role which you are applying. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get started. So there is also the Ansible playlist, which I guess I have posted up one video. I'll post one more video. Like every weekend, I'll try to move on with that particular playlist, wherein I'll be teaching like Ansible. Alright, so it's a DevOps tool, it's a configuration management tool. What is it? I have already explained in one video. So if you have not watched it, I'll leave a link in the description below. And also, if you have not yet like subscribed to the channel, please do so. Just smash the subscribe button, and also there will be a bell icon. Don't forget to click on that, so that whenever I upload any kind of videos, you don't forget, or like YouTube will take care of that. You won't miss that particular video. You'll get a notification. So without any further ado, let's get started. So yeah, web development, right? So it's like you talk about any kind of application that exists in the market, more or less there is a web application for all of them, right? So you open your Chrome browser, you just like type a link out there, and like you get back some web page, you interact with it, you click on some links, you fill out a form. Let's say you register yourself, you use the functionalities. All right, so everything that you see in your day-to-day lives. All right, let's say you're chatting with your friend over WhatsApp and your friend sends you a particular link. You click on that and you get redirected to your Chrome browser and you see something out there, right? So like let's say it may be a Facebook page, it may be an Instagram page, any kind of social media, e-commerce, then tourism, travel, everywhere like this web development is there, right? So but before you actually start coding into web development, you should understand how the entire architecture of web development exists, how it works. All right, so that whenever you sit back and develop, you do not like get confused that okay, fine, there is a one particular component in web development and I don't know what this particular thing does, or where to actually fit that particular component such that my application will work smoothly. Okay, so let's go to our pretty whiteboard. It's not all pretty, I guess. It's totally white. Okay. uh, okay, yeah. So we'll start with web dev, and we'll mainly focus on the architecture, or more specifically the entire life cycle of your website development. Okay, so let's say this is a particular laptop. I'm not very good at drawings, guys, so please bear up with me. um, just a minute. Okay, maybe this is keyboard. All right, so this is a particular laptop. It may be a laptop, it may be a PC, it can be anything. So for instance, let's say you open up your laptop, you open up an application that is here. I guess I'm just saying. Okay, you open up this particular app, and this is known as your Chrome. Most of us are accustomed with using Chrome. Like many of you may use Safari or Edge, or maybe some like Internet Explorer, but I guess it's very much extreme right now. Firefox, yeah. So what is this actually? It is known as a browser. I'm like very sure that you all are familiar with this. So Chrome is actually your browser. Okay. So what do is that you come to your laptop, you take this application and you open it. Now when you open it, you are presented with something like this, a search bar, and you search something here, alright, and hit the enter button from your keyboard. After that, you get to display, or like you see in front of yourself some like page, some kind of a web page, alright. This is a page, and let's say you have a particular link out here. I'll change the color. Just a minute, guys. Yeah. So let's say here is a particular link, and you click on that, and again you are directed to some other page, alright, or let's say some you see some other page right there. So for instance, let's say if this is a particular company's website, so let's say this is the home page, for instance, alright, and when you click on this one, let's say for a register, alright, you click on this link, so this is the registration page which you get. Okay, so let me okay, now the point is, have you ever asked yourselves a question that how is this thing happening, which means that I click on a link, or let's say I open Chrome, I type out a link, the link may have been shared by my friend over WhatsApp, and suddenly I have in front of myself this one, a particular web page. Again, when I click on something here, I am presented with some one more thing, and it may be possible that again from here, if I click onto something, I'll be presented with another stuff. All right, so how is this thing happening? And also you may have noticed, right, that there are various kinds of animations involved, and more specifically, you can say like whenever you click on a button, some kind of animations come up, a registration form may like pop up. So all of these stuffs, what like how is this thing happening? All right, so this particular thing which you have received, all right, whenever you have clicked for the first time, or like whenever you had entered a link and hit the enter button here, this thing which you have got, all right, this is actually a web page. This is known as a web page. Now there are various steps involved, all right, in fetching or like receiving this web page. We as users, whenever we are using, all right, any kind of application, all right, whenever we are using Chrome, actually, to be more specific, or any kind of browser to be in general, all right, whenever you are using any kind of browser, all right, what happens is we hit the enter button and we get this web page, all right. Again, when we click on a link, all right, we get another web page here, but there are some different steps involved in the, like, you can say, behind the scenes, or like backend, like we do not see as users. What we see, we just click on it and we get something, we just click on something and we are like presented with something. But the architecture that is involved, all right, the architecture that is involved for you to see actually the web page is something that you as a web developer should be accustomed and familiar with. All right. Sorry guys, just a minute guys, you can hold on. Okay, so you should be familiar with the architecture, or rather I would say more specific term, the entire life cycle, all right, that is involved. Okay, from the time that a user, all right, enters a link and hits the enter button, up to the time that the user fetches the web page, or that gets the web page. So this life cycle or this entire architecture, you as a web developer should be clear about. So what is that? How is these things, like what are the things that are going behind the scene? I'll explain to you in this video. All right, and also like you may have seen about like link. All right, so any kind of link you can think about. So let's say I have a link, https:// let's say facebook.com. Guys, pardon me for the handwriting. Okay, I hope it's understandable. Okay, facebook.com, let's say slash posts. All right, this is a particular valid link. All right, you take up this link, or let's say your friend have like given you this link in WhatsApp. All right, you click on it, or let's say you copy it. All right, and you come here and paste it in your particular search bar of your Chrome browser. Okay, after that you hit the enter button, and you are able to see the like post page of the Facebook. All right, you get to see different like posts or feeds in your timeline. All right, so these things happen, but how, what are the processes involved? Or let's say there are three different parts of this particular link. Okay, what each of those parts signify? Okay, what is the behind the processing that is going on, we'll get to understand in this video. That's what the video is about, like basic architecture of web development. Okay, let's go to a separate whiteboard, a fresh diagram, so that it would be easier for you all to understand. Okay guys, lots of whiteboards loading. Okay, okay, so now we'll get a bit technical. Okay, we'll now think. So in the previous slide we made our thought process. Okay, we directed our thought process to be in the form of a user, which means that we as a user, okay, whatever we'll see we had analyzed in the previous slide. Okay, in the previous slide we were thinking like a user. Now we need to think like a developer. Okay, why? Because what is the role of a developer? Whatever the website which we were discussing in the last particular like whiteboard, all right, a developer has to code that up. Okay, so our thought process should be channelized in the form of a developer right now. Okay, so let's draw out the same thing. Okay, let's say, okay, these are two different PCs, or let's say like computers in general. This is computer A and this is computer B. Okay, and let's say in this particular computer I have Chrome browser. Okay, and I search out something here. Okay, and hit the enter button from here. Okay, this is the enter button on my like keyboard. So I search something in the like, let's say, or let's say I type out a link. Okay, I have a link. Give me some, I'll change the color. Okay, so I have a link here. Okay, uh, I type out that link in this particular space, the search bar, and I hit the enter button. Now there are two things which happen actually. Okay, so whenever you hit the enter button, right, so the things which happen is that, let me first draw it and then I'll explain. Okay, so this is a computer B. Okay, whenever you type out a link, all right, in your particular, let's say, search bar, and you hit the enter button, okay, one thing that happens is something goes to computer B. Okay, from your computer A. So what is the computer A? The computer A is the particular laptop or PC or maybe mobile which actually contains a browser. In this case we have considered the example of Chrome, in inside which we opened the particular Chrome application, we typed out the link and we hit the enter button. So that is what computer A is. Now something goes to computer B. Now your question might be that how this particular computer A, all right, knows that where is this computer B? Because if the particular computer A doesn't know where computer B is located, then how this particular arrow thing will go from A to B? What is this arrow thing? I'll explain. Okay, and also there is one more thing that happens. All right, Okay, so there are two arrows involved here, one from A towards B and one from B towards A. Okay, so what happens is, whenever you hit the enter button, whenever you type a link and hit the enter button, something goes to computer B. Computer B, okay, understands this particular something which goes from A to B. Computer B is capable of interpreting or understanding that something, okay, and based upon that, computer B provides again one more thing, all right, to computer A. And whenever computer A receives this something, okay, from B, it displays it in your Chrome, okay, it displays it in your Chrome. Now what is this something? Okay, guess, yeah, so this something, okay, whenever we hit the enter button from computer A, is known as a request, okay, and this something which computer B sends back to A is known as response. Okay, so what is a request and what is a response? Let me explain to you. For instance, let's say you have a particular link, colon double slash, I'll write in short, okay, fb.com/posts. Okay, let's say this is the link which we have. I type out this link in the Chrome browser of laptop A and hit the enter button. So what this thing implicates is that I am trying to send a request to a computer B, and computer B should provide me with a response, or it should provide me with something which computer A should be capable of understanding and displaying it in Chrome. Okay, so the thing which is sent to computer B is known as a request, and whatever computer B provides back to A is known as a response. This thing is known as request response lifecycle. Okay, now you might ask me, what is the response that is being sent, and also how is computer B able to understand this request? Okay, what this request contains, that is the first question. Second, where is this B located? Because how can the computer A know to where to send this request to? Third, the response that is being sent to A, is A capable of understanding the response? And what is the response that is being sent back? Okay, the response can be anything. It may be a data, it may be some kind of a page, or whatever you may say that. What is that? Alright, all of these questions, if these things are popping up in your mind, I'll clear it out one by one. Okay, so alright, okay, so let's say this is a computer B, right, and this is a computer A. I'll not refer to as laptop because I feel that like if someone is nearby, he or she may be like more comfortable with the word like computer. Okay, this is a computer A. Okay, the request, okay, contains whatever the computer A wants to display. Okay, if you take a good look at this link, what is this link saying in its own way? Which means that if you just take a look at this link, it implicates that I want to see the posts from Facebook, https://facebook.com/posts, which means I want to see, alright, whenever I hit enter after typing out this link in my Chrome browser, I want to see some kind of your like posts from Facebook. Okay, so this thing which I want is included in the request. Okay, the thing which I want is included in the request. It is sent to computer B. Now computer B intercepts and understand, okay fine, this is a request which is coming from computer A, and computer A wants me to send this particular data. What is the data? The posts from facebook.com. Okay, so now computer B will search or do some kind of processes in its, like in computer B, alright, it will do something and it will send back the response. Okay, now what is the response? The response should contain the posts from facebook.com. Okay, because that is what it was intended, okay, in my request. Okay, now once the response has been sent back, okay, has been sent back to A should be capable of reading, or let's say interpreting that response and displaying it in your Chrome browser. Okay, this is what happens. Now the thing is, whatever the response that is being sent from B to A is actually a web page. What do I mean by a web page? Okay, whenever you type out any link and you hit the enter button, whatever the page which you see after you hit the enter button is known as a web page. Now when you click on different links, or let's say when you type out different links and hit the enter button, the content of the web page is different, obviously, because let's say if you go to Facebook, you would see the content of Facebook. If you go to Instagram, you would see the content of Instagram. Alright, so the major thing that we need to focus on here is that whatever I want, it's actually a part of the request, because request is what goes to computer B. Computer B understands that request. Okay, fine, so there is a user, let's say user 1, and there is a user known as user 2. User 1 is using computer A and user 1 is using computer P. Okay, user 1 has typed out the link known as facebook.com/post, which means that the user A, okay, is requesting me, which means B, okay, to send me the post of facebook.com. User P has written, or let's say type out the link instagram.com/posts, which means user P is requesting me to send the posts for Instagram and not for Facebook. Okay, where is this data coming from? It's coming from the request. So after, now the point is I need to provide A with this particular thing, so I'll do some processes here. Okay, once I get the content, okay, I'll send it back as a response to A. Now A, or let's say in this case P, because we're discussing about two computers, should be capable enough of interpreting whatever I have sent, and it should like display in Chrome. I here means B. I am talking from B's perspective. Okay, that's why I'm using the word I. I'm like thinking B to be a human being. Alright, so this is the request response cycle. Okay, now the big question is, which I told you, is that the response is actually a web page. So if you know some basics, that a website or a web page is actually a code which the developers write. They write in HTML, okay, CSS and JavaScript. So these are the three tools which are used to build or code up any web page. Okay, so once this particular code is written, which means once this website has been coded up, it is kept in computer B somewhere. Okay, this is the web page. Okay, it's kept. Whenever computer B receives a request, it actually interprets it like request, that which web page does my computer A want. Based upon that, it will find that particular web page, pick that particular web page and send it back as a response to computer A. Once computer A receives that web page, it will interpret that code and the output will be displayed in your Chrome. So whenever I mean web page, this particular box which you see, it is actually the code, the HTML, CSS and JavaScript code that exists in a file. What computer B does is that based upon the request that is being sent, it understands that what A wants. So it picks out that particular file in which I have HTML, CSS and JavaScript code written. Okay, it sends it back to A. Now A's beautiful capability is that it can interpret or understand this particular code which is written. It understands that and it displays it on your Chrome. Okay, that's what we see as an output. So the output is a web page. All right, the code which is used to write a web page exists in computer B. Okay, so what is computer B? In more good terms, in technical terms, computer B is known as your server. Okay, and in more technical terms, computer A is known as your client. Okay, so it's a client server model, you can say. Also, now you might ask me, where is this capability of interpreting the response that is sent from B to A coming from? This particular guy here, Chrome. So we are making the request from here, right? We are typing out the link in the search bar and we are hitting the enter button. So we are making the request, all right, from the Chrome browser. So whenever we are receiving the response is actually received by this application, which is a part of the computer A, right? Because Chrome exists here. Chrome has a beautiful capability of interpreting this code. What is this code was used for? It was used to code up this particular web page. So Chrome interprets that and the output is displayed in your particular Chrome browser here over A. Okay, so that's where the capability of interpreting the response comes from. Okay, and it is known as a client because I as a client or a user is making a request, all right, that please provide me with the posts of facebook.com, or let's say please provide me the posts of instagram.com. Server, okay, why is it known as a server? Because this computer B is understanding the request, okay, finding out wherever this code is there, processing that code, or let's say not processing, actually processing some other kinds of stuffs to actually get this particular code and return it back to A. Whenever it is like got or fetched by this particular A laptop or computer, it is interpreted and displayed. Okay, so this is the thing which is actually going on behind the scenes. So whenever you go and type out a link and hit the enter button, this request response cycle goes on behind the scene, which we as users shouldn't be aware of. Why? Because user can be anyone. It can be an auto driver, it can be a chef, it can be some kind of like 4 to 5 year old kid, it can be anyone. Okay, so the user should not know about all these, but you as a developer who will be, okay, building out this website, okay, and also serving it to the entire general public should know about how this entire thing works behind the scene. Okay, so there are more stuffs to cover. All right, let's see the URL part, which I told you that this link also consists of 3 parts. There is some parts about this server, for instance APIs, then there is some databases, then there are web servers. All these stuffs also exist. All right, and from the front end side also, whenever we make a request, how can we visualize that request, all of these stuffs. So what I'll do, guys, I'll let's say I thought to like make one particular video, but I guess it would be too long, so it's better that I split up the videos. All right, so in this particular video I hope you understood what goes on behind the scene when we click on a link, or let's say type out a link and hit the enter button, and we are presented with an output. So what are the things which goes on behind the scene? I hope this video made you clear about that. All right, so in the next video we'll dive more deeper into more like what are the more different components left in this particular architecture, and we should be aware of that. We'll cover that in the upcoming videos. So initially what I'll do is that I'll make this also a separate playlist. Okay, so I hope you all got to understand the basic stuff that goes on behind the scenes whenever we access a web page. Okay, so that's it. If you like this particular video, please do share it with your friends. Do not hesitate on that, and share it with anyone who wants to understand the basics of how the internet actually works. All right, why do I say internet? Because let me finish it quickly here once. just it just clicked my mind. Okay, so you see, internet is actually here. It is actually the medium which is allowing to send the request, and also it is the medium which is actually allowing to receive the like response. Okay, so if internet was not in between, it wouldn't have like served as a medium. The sending of the request and also the receival of the request wouldn't have been possible. So yeah, internet is definitely present here, because it's very much obvious, right? Whenever you click on a link, if you do not have active internet connection, it doesn't happen. You do not like get the web page. It like generally displays that you are offline. All right, so that's where the internet comes into this scenario as well. So I hope this thing was clear, and in the upcoming videos I'll explain more detail as to what are the other components that are there. All right, thank you so much for your time. Take care, tada, and bye bye.